Hello, my name is Glenn Monroe and I'm the owner of Brain Diesel. And in today's video, I want to show you how to limit what can be put into a cell in Microsoft Excel. This way you have better control over what's happening, control how the data is entered, make it easier to enter data. Also, we're going to show you here how to put in instructions into the document, making it a lot easier, reducing human error, reducing those stupid questions that people don't want to ask, and having them avoid guessing how to do things. And we're going to do this using a tool called validation. Now you're going to find validation on the, not the home ribbon, but the data ribbon, and it's up here, data validation. Now right now, every cell in every document is validated. It's validated to allow anything you want. I can type in letters, and that's fine. I can type in numbers, and that's fine. Or formulas, and I can type anything. So here in a name field, type anything you want. That's great. But maybe I want it last name first or first name first. Maybe I have a preference. So in this one, I'm going to go data validation and hit data validation. Now I'm going to allow any value, but I'm going to put an input message on here. So the input message I'm using is, please enter your name, last name first, example, Smith, John. And I hit OK, and now this note is there. And it's there only when I click on that cell. So it's not distracting me, there's no little red tick marks, just when I happen to click on that cell ready to enter the data, bang, the note is there. And then that's that. Now I could still type in Glenn Monroe, it'll allow it, it's allowing any value, but the reminder is there to suggest I should put it in this format. So we've taken care of that one. Now this next one here, I want the person's current salary rounded to the nearest dollar. So let's assume it's $30,000 a year. Well, let's go to data, validation, and here I don't want to allow any value. I want to allow a whole number, and a whole number is a number that doesn't have any decimal places. So do I want to have a range of between this and that, or really I just want to have a whole number greater than 0? So any number greater than 0, that's fine, and hit OK. So if the salary is $15,000, great. If the salary is $15,789.25, then I get this pop-up saying, wait a second, the value you've entered is not valid. I can retry it or cancel. So I cancel and it goes back. But I get this nasty little tingy sound and saying, you can't do that. Now, percent increase. What happens with percent increase? Let's suppose, let me put a $30,000 salary in here. Let's say I'm putting through a 3.25% increase, so 3.25%. Well, right now, if I put in 3.25 and I had this multiplying out, it's actually adding 30,000 times 3.25, so that's 97,500. So I don't want to enter that way. I need to enter it as percent. I could format it prior, but what I'm going to do here is go data validation, and I'm not going to allow any value. I'm going to allow a decimal between 0 and 1. And I hit OK, and that allows any number between 0 and 1. Now with that, I could give this person a 100% increase, 100%, and that's allowed. I may want to limit it more than that. I may want to say data validation, allow a decimal between 0 and maybe the maximum increase we gave is 7%. So 0.07 is 7%. And now they would type in 8%. I get the error saying, wait a second, that's not allowed, you want to retry it. So I'll retry 7%, and now that's allowed. So I've added that functionality in here. If I format the cell as a percent beforehand, it makes it a little bit easier. Likely 3.25 is what I was looking for. There we go. So now I've got the increase put through. Now job status. The job status field here, I want to have, are they part-time, full-time, or temporary? So what I can do here is I can validate this cell, data validation, to allow a list. And the list, what's the source of that list? Well, it is those ones there. And now I hit OK. And now there's an in-cell drop-down menu. So nice and easy way to do it. And now you can, now if you don't want to click the drop-down, I can still type in part-time. That's okay. As long as it's on that list and I type it the same way, that's all right. I can't put in PT. That didn't make the list. Now we keep seeing this message coming up with a big clang saying, invalid entry. But invalid entry isn't particularly helpful. All that's going to do is get you more questions or people coming back saying your form is too confusing. So let's simplify that. What I want to do is I'm going to validate the cell a little bit more. Under data validation, we've got the list and the sources in place. I could put an input message here. But what I'll do for my error alert is I actually want to customize my error alert. So the title will be job status, and then please choose one from the list. There we go. So please choose one from the list, hit OK. And now if I put in FT for full time, this shows up. Job status, please choose one from the list. So retry, and there we go. So I validated the cell to enable that to happen. Now performance, prior performance rating. So excellent, good, fair, poor. Let's validate the cell. And in this case here, I'm going to allow a list again. But instead of having the list here or like having more lists added to my document, what I'm going to do is I can just type in excellent, comma, good, fair. If I put commas in between and hit OK, now I have a list like that. So you don't have to have all these extra lists built in. All you need to do is just type them out with a comma between. Without that comma, they'll show up excellent, good. It'd be side by side that way. Address 1, address 2, and city, I'll allow anything there. Now the province, if this is a New Brunswick employee, do I want this to say New Brunswick or N.B. or NB? All kinds of options here. Well, to simplify, I want to have just the two letters. I want NB, done. That's it. So under province, what I'm going to do is validate the cell, and I'm going to allow text length. And the text length is going to be equal to 2 characters. You can only type in NB, PE, NL, PQ, whichever province you happen to be in. So text length equal to 2. With this, I'm going to put a message on. So I put a note in there to enable people to see what I want to have in there, and now I hit OK, done. The note's there. If I put in PEI, tang, nope, same thing as before. So retry that, PE is acceptable. The final one I want to do here is postal code. So under postal code, again, do I want to have it be E1A space 1A1 or E1A1A1 smushed together? Well, I want it all smushed together without spaces. So data validation, text length, and make it be equal to 6 characters. Equal to 6. If I have American customers, I may say 5 or 6, and that way, if I don't want spaces, that takes care of that. So I put my note in there, and now I have that in place. You can decide how often you want to have a customized message instead of the invalid entry, if you want notes at all or not. But by putting these in there, people will click on a cell and see what you're looking for, and this will reduce some of the questions you get. You'll get better filled out documents, filled out much easier, and you get to control the information, especially if you're going to use this information in other spreadsheets and you want it all to match up. So that's this video on data validation. Very simple to use. Give it a try and you'll find some places you can use it. Thanks for watching. Stay pumped. We'll see you next time.